These supercharged deals keep on rolling in with the latest batch of eShop deals. As always, I got the highlights for you in today's video. The Falconeer is a neat game that has you taking to the sky in full-on air combat as Falconeer, a warbird. You gotta dive, dodge, and shoot down enemies throughout the nice-sized campaign. These days, you don't get to really see arcade area combat or dogfighting games like these anymore, so it's nice to see this type of gameplay return. And the gameplay here, it is most certainly fun, with plenty of missions to take on and areas to explore in between those missions. The Warrior Edition on Switch contains the original game, along with all the updates that added additional content, as well as it includes the Hunter DLC and the Edge of the World DLC that adds a new player class, side quests, and more. It's on sale for the first time in nearly a year. It's down to a brand new low price of 80% off now. Gravity Circuit is a pretty cool 2D action platformer, where its gameplay features elements from many classic games, like Ninja Gaiden, Bionic Commando, the Mega Man games, and even to a degree, classic beat-em-up games. It does sound a bit like they put a little bit of everything on the plate at the video game buffet, but trust me, this is good. All the elements work together really well. The gameplay is fun, it's fast and fluid, and it gives you plenty of options for taking down foes through 12 awesome stages. The latest eShop sale has it back again at its previous holiday sale price of 40% off. Pompom feels like a GBA or even Super Nintendo game that we just never got back in the day, especially in terms of its visuals. It looks like a game straight from that era. That aside, this is a platformer where you're tasked with laying down blocks, springs, vines, and more so that Pompom can get past obstacles and reach the end of a level. Yep, in this game, you don't control Pompom, so you better choose carefully in how you play stuffs, or else this little hamster is going to have a bad day. I think this is a pretty neat game. I like the unique gameplay, almost incorporates a little bit of elements from the Yoshi DS games, feeling almost puzzle-like in its gameplay, and the game keeps throwing new stuff at you to keep it feeling fresh. That said, I will say that this game does get challenging later on, and with some levels, things can get finicky, so make sure to be ready to do a number of attempts at the later levels. But hey, if old school hard doesn't intimidate you, then check this one out. I think what it does get right makes it worth playing in the end. It's on sale for 60% off until February 18th. Nintendo recently just finished up with a free game trial of Moving Out 2, which I played off and on this past week. I liked it. It was pretty fun, completing the levels trying to move all the stuff, while also sometimes breaking a lot of stuff along the way. There's plenty of goals to complete, beyond just completing a level in a certain amount of time, which I appreciate. And if things get too hard, well, you can fine-tune the difficulty, the time limits, and more to your liking. I will say this though, as nice as the single-player experience was, multiplayer is where it's at with these games, and that's where the gameplay truly shines. Right now, a bundle containing both the first game and the latest sequel, Moving Out 2, is on sale right now. You can get that bundle for 60% off in the North American eShops, while everywhere else gets 50% off. It's not a bad deal either, considering when the second game goes on sale, it's not that much cheaper than the bundle, so basically you're getting the first game for just a little bit more. Underhero is a unique game to say the least. It is a side-scrolling RPG platformer game that does things different. For one, its turn-based combat isn't exactly turn-based. See, in this game, you gotta time your actions instead. Jump, attack, evade, and even bribe your way at the right time to gain victory. Also, in this game you don't play as a hero. Nah, the hero failed. Now it's the underling's turn, the underling of the evil king. I guess it's his turn to save the day. Additionally, the game itself totally does not take itself serious at all. It feels like a non-stop joke or silly train ride from start to finish. It's a neat game though, and it's a bit of a hidden gem. It's currently on sale for 70% off until February 18th. Capcom announced that Onimusha Warlords 2 is finally getting an HD remaster after all this time. For those who wanted to check out the first game, the first HD remaster? Well, Capcom has it on sale on the eShop for 50% off in all regions for the time being. Concerning the first remaster, they did a really good job with this version of the game, I feel. It looks great, it's now in widescreen, there's a new soundtrack option too, with improved controls. Plus it's pretty convenient. As far as the gameplay itself, Onimusha Warlords is a classic from the early 6th generation console era. It's an action-adventure game that borrows elements from the Resident Evil series, and the game takes place during the Sengoku period, and it has you fighting off Japanese demons as a samurai while also using magic spells. It's a good game, challenging at times, but I highly encourage you to check it out. It is a classic. Over the years, the developers at Hello Games have added and built up No Man's Sky with loads of free updates and expansions, while never asking for a penny more than the initial cost of the game. Huge kudos to them, as it's become one of the very best games out there, and it's one where you truly can live that space exploration life. In this game you can journey from one galaxy to the next, build a base or 2 or 3, explore for hours on end, catalog wildlife, engage in galactic trading, or just chill and go space fishing. It's all up to you. You're free to do what you want, but there's also plenty of quests to go after if you wish. If you've never played this game before, then you gotta rectify that and make it a point to play this game. It's one of the most unique experiences around. The Switch version is actually a pretty impressive port too. It runs great, all things considered. The only thing it doesn't have is multiplayer. But besides that, all the rest of the content is there. All the other aspects, the additions, the latest updates that have been made to No Man's Sky over the years. It's all available on the Switch. Also to note, there is a cross-save function for players now. Yes, with cross-save, you're able to take your save to and from other platforms, like the PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and even Mac, and of course, that includes the Switch. That's a pretty big deal, and it's super handy for those who have this game on multiple platforms, like myself. Anyway, No Man's Sky on Switch is back on sale at its all-time low price of 60% off until February 13th. Guilty Gear XX is one of the most popular and well-loved entries in the Guilty Gear series. It's known for its great gameplay, well-rounded roster of characters, and of course, lots of its trademark over-the-top action. The updated release, Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R, is one of the best ways to enjoy the game. It includes lots of rebalancing for all the characters, 13 game modes to choose from, online multiplayer support, different soundtracks to choose from, including some rare releases too, and this edition even has the option to select what game version of the game you want to play. So if you prefer a previous edition of the game, well, you can select that version if you want. If you consider yourself a fighting game fan, then don't skip this one. It's a worthy addition to your Switch library. It's back on sale for 75% off until February 13th. Gacha Racing Second is a game that combines the gameplay of top-down racing games with the thrill of collecting gachapon toys. With the coins you win from racing, you can cast them in so you can earn parts that you can use to build and customize your cars to hopefully do better in races. There's over 700 parts to earn, and you can even fuse parts together to make your vehicle better in its stats. Don't let the simple graphics in this one fool ya. The racing gameplay is spot on, and seeing what you earn next from the gachapon machines and earning those parts, it's addicting. It's back on sale for 75% off until February 13th. It's super cheap to get. I highly recommend picking this one up. Alba, a wildlife adventure, is a chill and relaxing open-world game where you explore an island while also trying to assist and save the wildlife on it. This game won a lot of praise for its important message and gameplay. If you like the Pokemon Snap games, or just like cozy games, then I think you'll like this one. It's on sale for a brand new low price of 85% off, which is like $3 here in the US. That's a steal for it. The Visco Collection contains 7 games originally released for the Neo Geo arcade platform that were all developed by Visco, hence the name of the collection. This collection includes Androdunos, Bang Bead, Captain Tomade, Flip Shot, Gain Ryu, Go Go Go, and Neo Drift Out. It's a solid collection for the most part of some lesser known SNK arcade games. The shoot 'em up Androdunos, the action game Gain Ryu, and the racing game Neo Drift Out being the standouts for the collection for sure. In addition to local multiplayer options, it does support online multiplayer for up to 2 players. It's on sale for $12.99 until February 10th. 30XX is a roguelike action platformer that has gameplay that is certainly inspired by the Mega Man games, especially the ZX series. This is an absolutely awesome game. The gameplay is good, it's filled with lots of action and challenge, and it's noteworthy for the fact that every time you play, the levels, items, and powers will change throughout, so you get a new experience every single time. This one has local and online multiplayer too. It's back down to its holiday sale price of $9.99. 20XX is the predecessor to 30XX. Just like that one, it's got the Mega Man vibes going on, and it's a roguelike too. You gotta blast your way through levels and collect a ton of power-ups, while also completing daily and weekly challenges too. This one has co-op play as well, both local and online, and it's on sale for a new low price of $4.49. If you're a Mega Man fan and you're hungry for new experiences, then check out these 2 games. It'll satisfy you. The Goose is on the loose. Yep, in this insane game, Mighty Goose, you get to play as a goose who, with his battle armor, goes on a mission to kick some serious butt. The game is heavily inspired by the Metal Slug games, with similar gameplay, including vehicles to jump into, and fun over-the-top boss battles. The game supports local co-op play too. This one is so much fun. It's one of my favorite indie games for the Switch. It's great for arcade fans looking for something new to play. I've always got to give this one a shout out when it goes on sale, because it's just such a great game. It's on sale for $7.99. It's worth every penny and then some. Another one that's one of my favorite indie games for the Switch is Record of Lodoss War-Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth. It's a pretty cool Metroidvania game. The game is heavily inspired by the legendary Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but it also manages to differ itself enough with gameplay that's focused on spells, Deedlit's use of bow and arrow, and the spirit system, both in combat and with puzzle solving. It's a pretty awesome game. It's got good gameplay and combat, and the sprite graphics look pretty good too. It's back on sale for $14.99. I love the Ace Attorney games on the Switch. I've cleared the great Ace Attorney collection, the Ace Attorney Trilogy of course, but recently I've also cleared the Investigations collection, which Capcom did a great job on, and now I'm making my way through the Apollo Trilogy collection, which by judging by what I've played so far, Capcom has also done a good job with that one too. The Ace Attorney games are some of the best adventure games around. Yes, there's a lot of text and reading, they are a visual novel at heart, but I love the interactivity, the detective elements, the investigations, and piecing the facts together. And of course, I love the characters and the stories. These are great, fantastic games. If you've ever wanted to dive into the series, or looking to continue your adventures in the series, then the latest sale has you covered. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, which contains remasters of the first 3 games, is on sale for 67% off. This is a great starting point for those new to the series. These games introduce a ton of important characters for the series for one, but they also get you used to the flow of the gameplay, as well as what to expect from these games. Plus, it's the cheapest way to get into the series. That's always a plus. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, which came out last year, includes HD remasters of the later 3 games in the series, Apollo Justice, Dual Destinies, and Spirit of Justice. I gotta say that for the later 2 games included, which originally came out on the 3DS, they really pop now, with the 3D models and such. The update to HD did these games well here. This collection is on sale for $29.99. Also, for those who want both collections, you can get the original trilogy with the Apollo Justice trilogy for 40% off. Basically, you're just paying around $6 more to get the original trilogy in addition to the Apollo trilogy. That's it for the new deals. The remaining half of this video is dedicated to the deals from last week's video that are still active. If you already seen last week's video, then you're good. You don't need to watch the rest of this, unless, you want to. Hey, it's up to you. I'd appreciate it if you want to check it out. Anyway, here's the deals that you may have missed. The updated port of the Wii U game is on sale for 33% off. In this one, you can play as Toadette too. It's actually the first time she was ever in a 2D Mario game. And somehow she can transform into some weird look-alike of Peach that actually controls far better than Peach does. Why? Again, don't ask. Nintendo does what they want. Also on sale is a trio of Mario sports themed games. There's Mario Tennis Aces. The Mario Tennis games are always fun, especially for multiplayer. There's Mario Strikers Battle League, the football/soccer game, where you get to beat up other Mario characters and crush their bones and their dreams as you score goals. This one is more multiplayer focused, especially for online, and there's not as much single player content as I like, so just keep that in mind if you pick that one up. Finally, there's Mario Golf Super Rush on sale. This one is probably the best of the 3 Mario sports games. They really shaped this up after launch by adding a bunch of courses, new characters too, and by refining the options and the experience for the players. This is a really good fun arcade golf game. All 3 sports games are on sale for 33% off as well. Kirby Star Allies is on sale for 30% off. This Kirby game's focus is about Kirby teaming up with his enemies by recruiting them and using their powers. Other players can assume the forms of his allies too, making for a good multiplayer experience. It's not my favorite Kirby game on the Switch, but it's solid for the most part. ARMS is a game I feel gets slept on these days. It's a fun 3D fighting game, especially in multiplayer. It's a neat game where you get to use each character's long arms and their unique powers to knock an opponent out. You can customize them with different arm powers too that you can unlock and obtain. I will say this about it, the motion control support is spot on. The controls feel great and they're accurate, and it just might be my favorite way to play this game. ARMS is on sale for 30% off via the latest eShop sale. Another code, Recollection, gets its first sale ever on the eShop. It's 30% off too. This is a remake of 2 games. Another code, 2 Memories, also known as Trace Memory, which was a DS game, and the sequel, Another Code R, A Journey into Lost Memory, which came out for the Wii. Both games are puzzle adventure games that have you following protagonist Ashley Rizuki Robbins as he attempts to solve some mysteries that have some deep connections to her life. I love the DS game, the original, but I haven't had a chance to play the collection yet. I really do want to, one day though. Miitopia for the Switch is an enhanced port of the 3DS game. It's a bit of a role-playing game, a simple one to be fair, but I will say the creativity aspects and the simulation stuffs are the game's biggest asset. Creating Miis and using them in the game's story is the best part, but if you're a hardcore RPG fan, you might be underwhelmed by the game's mechanics. Still though, for those who want to pick it up, it is on sale for 30% off. Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics is one I will always recommend for those to pick up or have in their collection, because simply put, there's so many games included that there's something here for everyone to enjoy. There's a ton of card games, from the standard stuff like poker and blackjack, to stuff like Last Card, which is basically a version of Uno, and the Japanese card game Hanafuda, as well as board games like Makala, chess, checkers, variations of shogi, and dominoes, to more eccentric games like toy baseball and toy curling, golf, darts, a shooting gallery, battle tanks, fishing, and there's even a virtual piano that you can mess around with. There's 51 games here, and there's probably several games that you'll end up liking, and the ones that have multiplayer are all supported through local and online play. Go Vacation is an enhanced release for the Switch of a Wii game originally developed by Bandai Namco. This is Bandai Namco's take on Wii Sports, except now there's 50 minigames included. In addition, you'll be able to unlock and earn furniture to customize your very own villa, so there's some light sim elements here too. It seems like a neat game. This is on sale for 30% off too. 2 games you shouldn't get from the first party sale are Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido, and 1-2 Switch. I mean, Sushi Striker by itself is not a bad game. It's actually a pretty decent action puzzler. But here, at least in North America, you get a physical copy for less than $15 easy. The 30% discount here on the eShop is not enough for it in my view. As for 1-2 Switch, I mean, come on. No. Save your money for other games. Big Brain Academy, Brain vs. Brain, is the latest game in the Big Brain Academy series that allows you to match your brain power and quick thinking against others through local play. Show off how smart you are or how dumb you might be. Honestly, I only recommend this one if you like puzzle games or the like. Game Builder Garage isn't really a game, it's more of an educational/programming game where you can develop and program your own mini-games and stuffs. It is neat for sure, and yeah, you can play games and stuff that other people have developed, but I would only get this if you're into making or creating stuff on your own. If you are into that, then you'll like this. Both Big Brain Academy and Game Builder Garage are on sale for 30% off. Some of the smaller digital games by Nintendo are also on sale. Part-Time UFO is one of my favorite eShop games. It was developed by HAL Laboratories, the same people that have worked on many of the Kirby games. In this, you are tasked to complete missions by picking up and moving objects to a certain location or level, or by balancing them on top of each other. You can do this by using the little UFO's little crane arm. In each level, there's other additional bonus tasks to complete to unlock extra goodies, as well as to earn money to unlock different costumes and such. It's a fun little game that's full of Nintendo charm. Now FYI, this one doesn't go on sale too often. I think this is only the 4th sale ever in about 5 years, so make sure to get this one while it's discounted if you're interested. BOXBOY plus BOXGIRL is the latest game in the BOXBOY series, which are puzzle platforming games that have you creating shapes out of boxes to overcome obstacles and solve puzzles in order to reach the end of a level. While the game can be played entirely solo, this time around, there is an option for local co-op play. If you liked Snipperclips or Unravel 2, those types of co-op puzzle platformers, then you'll dig this one. The Stretchers is another co-op style game where you have to work together to rescue and transport residents who have fallen under a serious case of dizzy confusion. Now it's not all that simple. This is a physics-based game, so you'll have to come to grips with balancing the two characters, as well as overcoming some crazy scenarios to try to rescue people. This one also is a rare sale too. It's only been on sale for about 3 times before over the last 5 years or so. Kirby's Dream Buffet is a party multiplayer type game where you have to race to the finish by eating as many sweets as you can. Sometimes you also have to compete by knocking the other Kirbys off a platform so you can eat as many things as you can too. It's fun, but it's definitely a game that is better with some friends or some enemies. Kirby Fighters 2 is another smaller type game where it's all about fighting. In fact, it's almost like a mini Smash Bros. Type game just with Kirby characters. There's a ton of Kirbys to play as, each with their own powers and moves, and there's some other guest characters to play as. There's a story mode, as well as multiplayer modes for both local and online play. Both Kirby games are on sale for 30% off until February 10th. The Katamari Damacy games are awesome. Yes, they are weird, but there's something really addicting about rolling up stuff with your Katamari ball. In each of the games, you're tasked with making a Katamari ball as big as possible within a time limit. Throughout your playtime, you'll find yourself in various settings, like inside a house, a school, a town, or even rolling across the globe. You have to roll up everything, and I mean everything, and that even includes people and other living things. Hey, nothing is off limits in your quest. Katamari Damacy Reroll is a remaster of the PS2 classic. Here the visuals have been upgraded, and the controls have been slightly improved too. There's a nice demo in the eShop for the game that will give you enough of a taste to see if you like the gameplay or not, so definitely make sure to check that out. If you like what you see from the demo and want to pick up the main game, then now is a good time. It's on sale for 75% off in most regions until February 10th. Pac-Man Museum Plus is a collection of Pac-Man games. This includes games from Pac-Man's arcade days, early console releases, and even later console releases. It has 14 titles in all, including the original Pac-Man game, Super Pac-Man, Pac-in-Time, Pac-in-Roll Remix, Pac-Man Championship Edition, and Pac-Man 256. It's a good set of games. It's 50% off currently through the latest eShop sale. Mr. Driller Drill Land on Switch is a remaster of a GameCube game that was originally exclusive to Japan. With the remaster, now everyone can enjoy this fantastic puzzle game with its many fun gameplay modes that add some interesting changes to the Mr. Driller formula. Of course, the original Mr. Driller experience is here too. The version on Switch includes a ton of multiplayer modes, including 4-player online play, and even includes a new casual mode for new or younger players to enjoy so they can get a feel for the game. It's on sale for 84% off in most regions. Namco Museum is our arcade collection of 11 Namco arcade classics for the Switch. This collection includes Dig Dug, Galaga, Galaga 88, Pac-Man, Pac-Man vs., Rolling Thunder 1 and 2, Sky Kid, Splatterhouse, Tank Force, and Tower Duraga. The collection has online leaderboard support for all the games, the ability to rotate the screens, the ability to change the game's settings, aka dip switch settings, and includes a save state function too. It's a fairly straightforward collection, but for as cheap as it's going for, it's worth picking up if you like retro arcade games. It's on sale for 84% off in most regions as well. Streets of Rage 4 is one of the best beat-em-up games you can get for the Switch. It's a worthy entry in the famed Sega series. The gameplay is a lot of fun, there's a number of characters to use and unlock, with each one feeling unique, and the game overall has a lot of replay value between the unlocks and modes to play. To top it off, it has a local and online multiplayer, which is always a good thing when a beat-em-up has online multiplayer. Absolutely a solid game without a doubt, and it's back on sale at its previous holiday sale price of 60% off. The impossible port, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, is back on sale again. This is a bit of a miracle, considering that when it was last on sale last month for the holidays, the previous sale before that was way back in 2019. Yeah, a 5-year gap. If you missed it the first time, then you can get it again at its 70% off price. You don't want to miss out on second chances, my friends. That said, this game is really amazing. To see how it runs on Switch, it's pretty incredible how good it looks on the platform. Super Crazy Rhythm Castle is an interesting rhythm game. Up to 4 players can compete against each other to try to win a contest and become the king of the rhythm castle. More often than not, you'll need to time your button pressing to the beat of the music during challenges. Like most rhythm games, this game often mixes things up by throwing different challenges at you. Often, you'll need to solve puzzles and perform other actions while trying to hit those notes. For example, sometimes you'll need to sort items, gather up certain items, ward off enemies, throw vegetables to please a sacrifice, or shoot a giant eggplant monster in the face. Stuff like that. Yeah, it's safe to say things get pretty crazy during these challenges. Hey, well, crazy is in the name. That said, I found this to be a pretty fun game, even when playing solo by myself, so don't worry if you don't have others to play with. It's perfectly fine in single player. This game is on sale right now, via the latest eShop sale, reaching a brand new low price too. It's 50% off until February 10th. Little Kitty Big City is a game that has you exploring a big city from the viewpoint of a cat. Go at your own pace, play and explore, complete quests, chat with other animals, and customize your kitty. Hey, maybe even make the world your sandbox. This is an extremely cute and charming cozy game. It's a good family-friendly game to chill with. It's on sale for 35% off, which is the lowest price it's ever been on the eShop. Do you like the mystery dungeon games? If you do, then you should definitely check out this next game. Shiren, the Wanderer, the Tower of Fortune, and the Dice of Fate is the 5th entry in the Shiren the Wanderer series, which has been a part of the Mystery Dungeon series since 1995. That's a long time. A roguelike RPG, players in this one will need to traverse randomized dungeons and fight monsters to collect loot and goodies. If they die, well, they lose everything, and the levels reset to 1, as well as the dungeons change. The Switch version includes 3 new dungeons and a new live stream display. If you like the dungeon gameplay from the prior games, then you'll get hooked on this one. If you've never played one before, then, well, here's a good jumping in point, as it's super cheap to get. It's on sale for 80% off which in the US, that means it's $3.99. Bulletstorm was one of my favorite shooters for the PS3. I really loved the over-the-top action that rewarded players for being creative with their kills and their shooting. Years later, they released a Switch edition, dubbed the Duke of Switch Edition, and it's a fantastic way to play the game. It looks great on the system, and it includes the ability now to play as Duke Nukem, the legendary man himself, through the whole campaign, fully voiced and all too. Even if you played this game before, it's totally worth playing again as Duke. This is a crazy shooter, and it's amazing. I can't recommend it enough. It's great and absolutely worth getting at its discount of 75% off. The Quake and Quake 2 Enhanced Bundle contains both Quake games, fully enhanced and revamped for consoles. These games include new expansions along with the original ones, new game modes, online multiplayer with cross-play support, loads of quality of life features, and lots more. The bundle is a fantastic way to enjoy these classic games at a nice sized discount. If you like FPS games, then do yourself a favor and pick this up while it's at 60% off. Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour is an updated remaster of the legendary boomer shooter. This game comes with a new remastered look, improved visuals, online multiplayer for up to 8 players, new voiceovers with the original voice actor, new weapons, new music, and even a brand new episode as well. It's a great remaster. It's been well over a year since the last sale, but it's finally on sale again with a nice sized discount. It's currently discounted 80% off its MSRP. Looking for a solid racing game for the Switch? Then check out Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. Not only is there a lot of racing to be had in this one, but you get to play as the police too, and try to take down drivers using different equipment. It's a pretty fun game. The remaster for the Switch looks pretty good, and it has all the DLC that came out for the original game, as well as it includes cross-platform multiplayer support. Like I said before in the past, I love when games have cross-platform multiplayer. More games need to offer that. It's back on sale at its previous holiday sale price. It's 83% off until February 10th. Pinball M is a spin-off of the Pinball FX series, and this one focuses on mature-themed tables, and in a lot of cases, horror-themed ones. The app itself comes with a free, horror-themed table, where you can expand the lineup with buying extra tables, just like you can with Pinball FX. That said, the Death Save Bundle is the way to go if you want to pick up a bunch of tables for cheap. This bundle includes Chucky's Killer Pinball, a Child's Play themed table, The Thing Pinball, Dead by Daylight Pinball, and Duke Nukem's Big Shot Pinball, and that bundle is currently on sale for a brand new low price. The discount knocks 60% off the price tag. I think this is a pretty good deal if you like virtual pinball. The Messenger is a retro-inspired action platformer where you play as a young ninja who is tasked with a mission that he must complete in order for his clan to survive. Initially, the game starts off as a pretty linear action platformer, but eventually it transitions into a Metroidvania that has you revisiting prior levels in order to find items. It's a pretty nice game, but the game's humor and the various nods to classic 8-bit and 16-bit games is what makes this game stand out. It's a pretty solid game with lots of variety to the levels that help to keep the game feeling fresh. It's at 80% off, and it's a solid get from the eShop sale. If you're hungry for a good 2D platformer but only have a few bucks to spare, then you should check out Kaze and the Wild Masks. Its gameplay is similar to the Donkey Kong Country games, and it's a solid platformer that has you using the various mask powers throughout 30 plus levels within the game. It's on sale for a brand new low price at 90% off the eShop MSRP. I think it's a no-brainer of a deal. Proto Corgi is a shoot 'em up, or in this case, a pop 'em up, where you play as a cybernetic corgi who is on a quest to save his owner who is kidnapped by an alien race. As cute and silly as the game might be, it's actually a pretty well-made shoot 'em up with some fun levels to blast through, along with a nice challenge, especially on the harder difficulty levels. At 70% off, this is super cheap to get. It's a no-brainer to pick up if you like shoot 'em ups. Steam World Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh, is a bit different from the other Steam World games, as this is a role-playing card game. You get to play as a bunch of different heroes and battle your way by using cards from your crafted deck. It's actually a pretty cool game with some good gameplay and some nice hand-drawn visuals. At its brand new low price of 92% off, I think this is another one that is a no-brainer to pick up from the sale. Loop Hero is a roguelike that has some pretty unique gameplay. The gameplay has players playing on a randomly generated map that they can change and manipulate by placing cards on the map. You need to carefully place cards to guide the hero around the map to explore, as well as to defeat enemies and get stronger. Eventually though, you'll need to take on bosses, and if you win, you get to continue the adventure. If you lose, well, you have to start all over, but at least you get to retain 30% of your resources. Again, it's a really unique game, so if you're looking for something different to experience, then you should definitely check this out. It's on sale for 75% off, which marks a brand new low price for it on the eShop. Raging Loop seems like a creepy adventure game. Set smack dab in a psychological horror story of sorts, Haruki finds himself in a remote mountain village, where after the appearance of a mist, an event begins to occur, called the Feast of the Yami Purge, where several villagers become wolves and must kill a person each night. Soon afterwards, Haruki discovers that apparently he can loop back in time after each death, and with this newfound ability, he must try to learn the truth about everything and why he's able to loop back in time. The game itself has a branching plotline where players' choices and actions affect the direction of the story. You're able to go back to previous points of the story and choose different choices and explore more of the narrative. So it's like adventure visual novels like Danganronpa or the Zero Escape series in a way. And if you like those games, then you'll probably like this one, as it's a bit similar in nature. It's on sale for a brand new low price of 75% off until February 10th. Paradise Killer takes place in a pocket universe of sorts, where a group of immortal aliens are trying to create the perfect society to reawaken their gods. As an experiment, they create a place called Paradise Island, where they have humans that they have kidnapped live as citizens on the island. At the start of the game, the aliens are running their 24th iteration of the experiment. One day, one of the aliens are found murdered. And wait, I thought they were immortal. Anyway, after thinking they initially have the culprit, they soon believe that there's more to the mystery, and they call upon the detective, Lady Love Dies, to solve the case. In this game, you'll need to solve mysteries in a 3D world while searching for evidence and clues, as well as bring characters to trial and use what you found to bring a conviction. It's a weird and eccentric mystery adventure game. That said though, it's got some pretty good reviews going for it, so this seems like a winner for those who like that kind of stuff. It's on sale for 75% off until February 10th. And there we go. That's the highlights from the latest round of eShop deals. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so yet, so you don't miss out on any future videos on the channel. In the meantime, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you real soon on the next video.